on the ACC PM set with myself and Mark Packer is Khyreed Carter, repping the Syracuse Orange today in place of Coach Felicia Leggett-Jack. It's good to have you here. What does it feel like, first and foremost, to step into that role, thrown into the fire to get to rep your team today?
It's awesome. I want to give a quick shout out to our staff. We've been holding it down without Coach Jack being with us for a couple weeks. Coach Sue Ludwig, Kristen Sharkey, and Amber Moore, Steve Gilbert, and Matt Whittlespock. We've really been holding it down. So to be here in their honor, it's an honor to be with you guys
Total
today.
team effort, right?
As far as the team goes, again, we keep talking about star power. You know what? You don't have to worry about star power at Syracuse. You got somebody who can light up a Christmas tree, right?
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing, because in this league, you're going to have to be able to score.
Absolutely, and we did a great job with it. Dyaisha Fair and Georgia Woolley were two really good for us scoring the ball last year, especially in ACC play. So to have that star power, being able to put the ball, it gives us a little bit of comfort as coaches. We got to shore up that defense a little bit, though.
Well, that's what I was going to follow up. I mean, it's good to score a lot of points, but at some point in time, if you're going to get to the next level, defense does travel, defense does win championships.
Absolutely. That's been our focus in the offseason. It's a bit of an oxymoron. We've had Dyaisha Fair, who's been consistently one of the best scorers in the country, but Coach Jack is an all-defensive-minded coach, so that's been our focus in the offseason, to shoring up that defense and understanding that we can put up points. We will put up points, but can we sit down and lock down on defense for 4 quarters?
Speaking of Coach, you've been with her before you even came to Syracuse. You said this is year 7 with her because you coached under her at Buffalo as well. What makes her such a great coach? Because the turnaround has been outstanding for Syracuse in just 1 year.
Yeah, it's all authentic. You know, she's one of those people that is right from the heart, and you feel it. And that's why our players really feed well off of her. And that's what we feed off of her as well. Her energy is infectious. Every day she brings it. We practice at 7 in the morning. I've never seen somebody that energized at 7 in the morning, but she does it consistently every single day.
I'll be honest with you. I like getting up early. I mean, of course, I don't sleep.
Yeah.
But you can get a lot done from 4 a.m. to 7 p.m., from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. while everybody's sleeping.
Absolutely.
And you kind of feel like you're ahead of the pack. I think mentally,
without a doubt,
there's something about doing that where when the sun comes up and you're like, hey, you know what? I've got my work in, and I know I got a head start.
Absolutely. We barely see the sun. We get in there in the morning, it's dark outside. We leave, it's dark outside.
I want to talk about defense a second. You mentioned that's the area you got to improve.
Right.
And you gave a shout out to your staff. Kids have to buy into defense, though, right? I mean, everybody wants to score. Everybody wants to be on Sports Center. Everybody wants to be on ACC Network. Nothing but net highlights. I get all that. But mentally, you've got to buy in on shutting somebody down. From your perspective, Coach, how difficult is that now in this day and age? Because it's a different generation.
Well, I think defense starts with trust. And, you know, for us last year, it was 14 new players coming into a system. So trust is something that's built over time. So it's getting them to trust each other, getting them to trust us more than anything, and then communication is second. So, you know, locking into that, it's what we do and it's who we are. So that's not necessarily the issue. It's just being able to communicate and be able to trust each other, to be in the right spot, to be in help side, to understand that if I get beat, there's someone that's going to come and have my back. So that's been the biggest step in our growth and the biggest adjustment that we've had to make, you know, blending it all together.
When Coach Jack talks about you, she said, Casey's going to be our player development guy. That's a big thing for you. You love to get in the gym and work with the ladies. And she said it's a lost art in this business, but it's something you're really good at. And you mentioned that trust factor. You're obviously very close with your players. Why is that something you enjoy so much, that player development role?
Well, you think about why you started playing the game. You started playing the game because you loved it. And we get into this business, and it's so easy to get distracted with the recruiting and the NIL and all of that. But my love was being on the court. My love was playing the game. I went to the park and played pickup basketball for hours. So to have players that want to get in the gym and that want to work, that's the best part of the job to me. And building those relationships and understanding who they are. That's the best part.
I know you have a great relationship with Dyaisha Fair because she came from Buffalo, so you've known her for a very long time. You mentioned she's one of the best scorers in the country, and I know we loved watching her every single night because when she's out there, there's always a chance, right? What makes her such a special player, and value of having her come back, because she had a decision to make, and she chose year 5?
She's special. She's just a special human being, and her story, when she's able to put it all into motion, for people to understand where she came from and where she's gotten to is just remarkable. But she's different. I mean, there's no other way to say it. She's different. Her ability to score against anybody in the country in multiple different ways, You know, and she has trust in Coach Jack, and she has trust in our staff, and her growth over this will be year 5 with us, tremendous. Haven't seen anything like it, and that's what it's all about for us, is growing the individual. The basketball is just secondary to growing the person.
Coach, for a lot of ACC fans who maybe have never been to Syracuse, there's got to be an understanding that it's a great basketball market. I mean, obviously, Jim Boeheim built something special there. You go through transition on the men's side, but women's basketball is no different. The interest level in basketball in that town is through the roof. And I know you guys feel that when you go to practice each and every day.
Oh, absolutely. It's a basketball, you know, no disrespect to football, but it's a basketball town. You know, New York, you think about New York basketball growing up. New York basketball is the mecca of the world, and we just happen to be in the best state in the world, and we get to play in the Dome. So it's a special atmosphere to see Jim Boeheim walking down the hallway, to see Carmelo Anthony coming down the hallway. And then for the women's side, you have Felicia Leggett-Jack, who is the first woman to have her jersey retired, and she's in your office every single day. And Sue Ludwig, who was her point guard, that got a lot of those assists to her in college. It's a special atmosphere, and it's a family atmosphere, and Syracuse basketball is live and ready to take over.
By the way, speaking of family, you got that 1-year-old, that 3-year-old, man. Who sleeps?
Little girls.
No wonder why you got practice at 7.
Sleep is overrated. I love practice in the morning because I miss them in the morning. So I don't got to deal with this. So my wife has to deal with all the getting them ready for school and all that. So shout out to my wife.
Shout out to your wife. And with that being said, though, you do coach women's hoops, and you have 2 little girls at home, and we're seeing the growth of the game.
Yeah.
And you're part of that, right? With a female head coach as well. How important is that for you personally when you have 2 little girls at home?
It's awesome. We just did an event this past weekend in Rochester, and my little girls got on the bus with us. And just for them to be in the atmosphere, our players are role models to them. They constantly are FaceTiming my kids. We have a kid playing overseas right now, and they're FaceTiming my kids in. For them to have those role models and to have such high character women on our team and on our staff, for them to learn from them, it's nothing I can ask for. Nothing better I can ask for.
Coach, we wish you the best, and give Coach our best.
Oh, yeah, she's doing awesome. She is kicking herself for not being able to be here. And last year, you said her nail game
Her
was
nails,
success.
right.
This year it's Navy. I just wanted to
She takes notes.
I was upstairs and I said, Coach, let me just say something. I've been sitting here for half an hour. Your nails look better than anybody. And she took great pride in that.
Yeah,
she was
loved
so
I
it.
need mine
So
done,
Navy.
speaking of.
I had to throw that in for
I
you.
love
That's awesome.
Tell her we said hello.
Thanks, Coach.
Absolutely. Appreciate you.
When we come back, actually, we're going to do a little toss because the Tar Heels are at the podium. All that's coming up. We got everybody and their brothers going to get covered today. It's going to be great. Come right back to you right here on ACC Network.